All right, so here's how Badwam Mpensenpensenmu make house Badwam Mpensenpensenmu bro. Royal Lighting Investment Father Manafe, Lucky Clinic for Sadarama and Asanko bro. Monday to Friday, Badwam, we are in Ashanti region, purposely here some Asante Hene, near Asante Man, ne Ghana, on the occasion of the death of a year or for ne mami. Yenina, ya mami, inti Edwada Kopim, a yeni fiada. Badwam yawo Asante Mantem. Happy birthday, Nkoma in your form, you know, Bismarck Oforiata and Ankoma Oforiata. Surprisingly, Munyina mo birthday follow on the same day. Mo achimoda free Ajingo ho ana ode mamo Bismarck Oforiata and Ankoma Oforiata so echamo kwansho kusukwa. Well, if you don't know more change you so makinka and brofoka sem na a change you addition ni bisusi ni mo muntia si wo wona kasem asem tiawa a eye nananama atrankonya ene adehye wo akyerensua empeso aso ekanyina ne se ne die se Ghana manpanyin His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo ahu eye yera kandapa ama ne nsroma aso no so a one akyerensua ana hwibo mu na nyima panso a waye wa akyerensua ne si twa de furu maso akyerensua no akyerensua man me kyerese akyerensua Traditional Council ene akyerensua adehye a etim kase mo na wonim se wo de sompa na adwempa ebesom man Ghana amebi nso abeso akyerensua man so we free akyerensua Traditional Council ho ana eba nipa ne sahase nana edusi poku konkonko ono ana ne sahasa krata free akyerensua Traditional Council ede eba. Acting General Secretary, National Organizer for the ruling New Patriotic Party, John Boaduatnase. A to Z, the Abrema and Hokwain, Sakwanyas Bebem, na Ebian so Busana Sembia, ye heard the brain at the Abaquacusi. Zemno, a Dawson, name or a brainy Afracasiasa, Bebe Subina Quanya, a Timmy Digital. John Aquaba Fisher Pans will be able to. The only bad thing that is happening is that the New Patriotic Party doesn't seem to really come with that force relating to press conference and NDC for and on matters of Musizi, so-called sympathizers of your party, ACZ, department, agencies, and other organizations, Ghana, Japadi, and the New Patriotic Party there. Party, who that force, say, Eba, ye.
Ayo medase mechia etiefo nyina force said yembo ko jan na yembetna TV so na yen keka nsem a yankasa ye worst offenders ana eno ne force no say wo hwe NDC for na omoti ho de omokeken wa wo hwa na eyade a e wo say higher hompo won. Because one, me jidi say omemu ha NDC a party a oma run omai for a very long time. And they've been part of transition over the period. Now, omunim difficulties are yenya as part of the transition. Because of impressions sometimes they back out. And then sometimes misinformation, some state officials, especially more pretty national security operatives, yes, some ben over here now where the car be I could see her, and I can give you living examples of Unkofa buying cars. All of a sudden, I say Mama Koro or the Akosi Fitemu and all that. These are things that if I'm ranting about why what party winning decided say answer state security and taking full control no more ever fall out to also a protected state property,
but legally is not right,
which legally is not right. But why you're very careful so over here no answer and take you over no don't afford it and also echo on the channel in the idea over the years no a creative problems for us. And NDC is a party omo abreso no west. So me because of my press conference we share this crocodile tears we ka unim say me ha me.
O friend crocodile tears.
Oh, crocodile tears. Say wo and say dun ketia national chairman of the NDC. especially as Adom Ketia. A mo te ho mo wa ben mu. A transition etwam. Na agbeglo shi ha. NDC for a gange up. Emma MPP for a wo omo bu omo eji omo niema ni omo properties a omo wo eku nipa num in the presence of the police at that time. And call for as we speak now. Oh, pen call for eku omo yeni omo. Some of them were recruited into the national security. Now I said don't get wada. Na NDC for no money. Be seen ne omo ku sa nipa num yi. Ebu nkofo prepare omo. And naturally we won't say because the state did not provide protection for these people. Most of them ran back to their hometowns. Ebi ko Tamale, ebi ko Yende, ebi Fritolon, ebi Fia, nom ko share for 7 years, 8 years ni. So 7 years, 8 years down the line, they also want to come. Unim the kind of worker yeah behind the scenes. And yet this time pokrapo, yeah the upsurge of people are almost raw deal as a result of the inaction of the NDC buying any NDC government at that time. And yema na compensate omo no. Yeah, behind the scenes, yeah, no makasa meetings upon meetings. Aye, because inya incidentam.
Okay, yeah, that was for more hint amunya intem. Any ana mompa motu. You will probably pay the okay, say na more behind the scenes be a motua and give you emergency. Does it mean that?
Yeah, I don't think that NDC for any say almost behaviors are the almost behavior no. But clearly. If you
but of course they have the right clearly, but they have the right.
Clearly, if you lead a party, there was majority in parliament. Now you have the kind of resources that they had. I want to me Jessica at random. Eche cars, eche dying, eche say bibia at their disposal.
How much dying?
Oh, now if I don't go there no one can. Don't go chance or man dying. A man cast me no tear rubber. So easy way. Yeah. And me, I'm a living example. The original chairman of the northern region, for instance, man immediately honor 500,000. Ne car over the period no promising to give him 3 million Ghana cedis. At the car, fresh car, every see her car, and the way there, so. If you have leaders like that, now we call election, we now lose so miserably. The way we lose now, their supporters on the ground are so angry. So, until when provide them some little air for them to just come and say something. Now, our supporters say, "Oh, our supporters." And I'm telling you,
we are worried. Yes, you know.
We are so worried. We are worried also because. Not just because say yanko for ne but one ye na one so anon tema ebe jonsem because I know people are omunye MPP for because of almost a way be almost the hajim.
But the chairman keeps warning say mo anye careful na mo tata almost timi for mo say some different ebe ja for so one day the more yeah of course be say also tata me you so tap on cheni oje wo
we na do kokan ya almost TV da. Oh, we are just replaying. And that shows you how hypocritical they are. That shows you. Then ananakai. Omoka or die without. Then ananakai.
And in fact, they are saying Nana is displaying that all die without.
Me say then ananakai. Nana say, Samo decided say, MPP for mo better omo. Na police ne enye ho hwea. Ye nyina ye mema. Ebedu baby no, ye to be and contain anabwa.
That's correct. Oh, that's same.
And then NDC for kind.
Say more. Nana and Shane went to an amount. So it means that
every threat. Me catch. I'm telling you, every threat. They may catch on the say. Only moral justification for what they are doing. This press conference was just because of lose election, or some unya bibi.
I'm sure you paid attention.
Because say, almost their supporters are so angry with all the resources they made almost same now parliament almost 100. You understand? And said we be but beyond almost, that's why I don't want to wait. Some kind of responding to them cannot pay my press conference to respond to them. But I'm almost feeling good. So everyone feels on my BB.
But they are describing our president, your party leader, say what display bad faith.
Bad faith in what?
Especially when it's about the president and his residency or his state council.
Oh, I know the ever bound and I saw per se.
Yeah, because these are the matters.
I know the ever bound. But the problem at hand is big. A problem, a periodic.
Every 4 years or 8 years.
Every 4 years or 8 years. May catch it or say, yes, so I know once and for all. That's the bigger picture we are looking at. So that's the bigger picture I say. A kwambe never first the citizenry, you know, it bring confidence in our governance structures. It bring confidence in our transitional process. I be creative vacuum. I can tell you. Say, look, when you say boys, baby, those how you car now we do how we see national security or much a coat being in most of them are not part of the structure of the national security. And this is winning power no she say coat number in Namho. Or man in Namho, man, said they are working for the national security. They are not. Jomulusu here, most of them has vanished. A creative vacuum. Until yes, your boys feel say, national security for 50 and 60 in a while. And the omunipo. Until yes, so feel a vacuum. Uber Flagstaff House. Most of the workers left. Emma say they have to call on the headquarters of the party. I mean, provided staff for the Flagstaff House in the interim. Because, and this is a processor. The transitional team that was on me because who's the Flagstaff made me away. Apart from those times, I know renovating Flagstaff House. Now NDPC office. Those are one crown and one call. For the past 8 years, I innovated NDC for about me call just as in Kofobe and call order. You understand? Omo call no, almost Sisiano, Omo call. If you go for front of the call. The way young call for. Omunim nkofo one sure people will be treated shabbily because name difference no so never channel because obi beba e be a party ni ofi baby the status since be et na be also manifest no akoma na fase the naturally no because they've deserted the place no we need to have people to fill in the vacuum in the interim so never channel there no money difficulties kakra ehu enye bibia now or as part of a press conference no almost say
okay quickly responding to other issues just a minute or two.
Friends of the media, I crave your indulgence to catalog a few of the worrying breaches that have come to our attention. Monday, January 9th, a group of young persons numbering about 30 invaded the premises of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, TEMA, and attacked management and staff and demanded to be offered immediate employment. Another noisy and indisciplined group in a convoy of 3 vehicles invaded the passport office in Accra, disrupted work and continuously intimidated staff and demanded the immediate resignation of the director, Mr. Alexander Grant in Tiakwa. The offices of NADMO Accra, the Youth Employment Agency in Tamale and Accra, the National Health Insurance offices in Tamale, and many others across the length and breadth of the country have been vandalized, and the officers subjected to threats, abuse, and physical attacks. As we speak, we have some of our supporters who are traders at Agbogboshi Market, a suburb of Accra, displaced from their market and have been sleeping at the party headquarters here to avoid being lynched by rampaging MPP hooligans. In addition to the burning of toll booths in the immediate aftermath of the election, we have also witnessed the seizure of toll booths at Adenta and Ashama and the criminal conduct of stealing monies collected during the days of the invasion. Ladies and gentlemen, we also note with concern that the NPP constituency executives are writing letters to heads of schools to discontinue the school feeding program until further notice. We consider this act unacceptable as it represents interference by a political party in the work of a state institution and also a clear threat to law and order. We are unable to comprehend how a serving police officer, an assistant superintendent of police, head of the police detachment at the Flagstaff House, was brutally assaulted at no less a place than the Flagstaff House by Nana Akufo-Addo's goon squad, known as the Invisible Forces. The most disturbing aspect of this brutish assault on the police officer is the fact that the president and his vice were all at the seat of government when the so-called Invisible Forces meted out this bestial conduct 2 days ago. Even more horrifying is the despicable conduct of the NPP MP Fosun, personally wielding a gun and leading his thugs to attack and beat NDC supporters, including a pregnant woman. It is common knowledge that the Invisible Forces were used by Nana Akufo-Addo to unleash mayhem on his own party members when he was an opposition leader. Is Nana Akufo-Addo saying he is not aware of the goonish conduct of his Invisible Forces? Or is it true that we are hearing, that the Invisible Forces are working with the tacit approval of their boss, Nana Akufo-Addo?
So that's it. I just say any brother system, any brother system. Quite a more fast one more treaty NDC.
Any brother am I Kofi Potofi. Menjini safi no abagana.
He has been here.
He has been here. Yeah. Was he aware saying he could nipa num ewa goglosia not buying for the past 8 years? Someone investigating nipa kokono.
Not to justify what this is.
I'm not doing so. But to who nipa sa not all kasasa. You need to point out. Oh no, yeah, talents by election. AK-47 gunikam. Said oh no, can't one another. AK-47. I mean, one video. My action. Besides assembly, because he's saying. So, we in the New Petrol have come out boldly to ask the police to work, to make sure, say, so be ekoye bibia enya. Almost taking action. We've never prevented the police from exercising their duty.
But the police knew what that might.
What might?
That's
what
how
might?
they've been perceived. The Aban they told the line of Abano. Aban they told the line of Yajinania contribute to where police is now.
Because no Emma police for acting. Rosemore Atinga acting. Abro muku nipa just gofo akojire baby o. Omuku nipa in broad daylight. Onya ho akukudro ebe press conference. Nti na make I say don't let us omo dey di omochi say a distraction just to say something keke. Bakachro said they had so much, they had state apparatus behind them, they have huge cash, they hijacked the media, they did everything using lead programs, spreading money all over the place. President Mamoba or Apampa or Mama Slug, the Ghanaian people had rejected them. Their people are so angry. And these people are so angry about the kind of leadership Potofene Asedu Ketia.
Okay, so what is it?
Now, I say, don't let us. Oh my, yeah, almost argument. I said, yeah, almost ye be no bin so ye be debi.
What is it about this presidential residence saga?
Minia, Omamuhano, and this is part of Niema to fuel some of these transitional difficulties. Say, o de emfa mra kra anto nche ye beba mra ne so. Say, o man hene me no wo hoyi. Ni abobra du pempen so bia ya son da yese pese di president. Who pese di president a? Enye so kan ya na udio because onye independent candidate na pay. Meaning that also rising through the ranks of your party. And say do pempen so be decided say you want to contest
for presidential
internally. The kind of muscle and resources are here to contest internally no enya sem ketwa. And so contesting winning
national
while running a campaign. Filing fees cry eh. Filing fees cry eh. Not just a one kasano what bobra over the years. And so I be do pempen so o pese udi president. Into omemu ha ubedi president wia. Ya kase unifie into yen si fie emfama. I say anything. So ubedi president. President Aodi Aninua Chesika like there's no tomorrow.
Ninia Chesika.
Ibrahim Mama, nyamo na moti Ghana ha. Yes to me mo bi SK. It is amunya sasika and booking abu ekatre say that day this president Ninia Ibrahim Mama Tiana Brantie Bakotia 500,000 a diamond into BC. 3 million Ghana cedis now we say omode mana later bugire angelo. A diamond into BC wo manwa. Na munya sasika nya obetena ban mu enya sasika nyina wia. Uwia o say yenso ye taxpayers sika kakra wo ho na mo ambehwe so yie no so no ye fanto insidan emamo
ye ni ono na ka na ye ni amakwanya no asoman say sa hihye ni ko
conversation I was say di a conversation I was say di because me ntia say who decide say obedi president obedi president ewie first of all who go di president also unifie obedi ewie so unifie na ewie ayesidan ma adan me wa be di president untia tax onye hwe ukonkofo yi out me donate 100,000 onye sika wen yendi e friend say bolilana the president kasa say ono an talk lanku samano ana me boa and also ono an sika na to me nya sika lanku say the airfo cry $90,000 $100,000 $100,000 and then ben to me see why are we encouraging laziness in our country? Why are we encouraging greed in our country? Aden, who are the president we are? Who's the answer? Yamba Constitution. Constitution, say Article 71. Office holders, no. There was a bino ethic committee. Now committee no determine omo emolument, ne omo retirement package, ne years bineniama. Na omote committee no na ebe advice na excuse me I'm sorry ya ko parliament na parliament agiatum parliament jituma na ya implement in 2009 January Hesse committee a president ko 40 no or the packages by there was a Yedema president for any parliamentarians. Anambwa. Parliament ejitumu. Parliament approve say no cre. Chairman Hesse Juma why ade pa. Into ejitumu. NDC ba and dey no ka kire. Omo sheda ye hu dede ekofa amrante your friend Derrick J.
Prince Derrick J.
NDC ni fiti hono adwuma ogodi eni no. Yamana National Youth Employment no your deputy coordinator. Why a coordinator for the past 7 years? So they mention NDC ni mapa. Edienim ema edan achiri Hesse committee no a proposal say for Makofo no. Omo podi he omo say kofo anya nkran ni nti edi say okofa ye man edan and ye man office won kra ha. Ema national security coordinator those time Beflolati. I say edan a ye de ama President Kofo so use for office no. A national security for dying to take over. Maybe enya o menwa. Na president Mahama no o wenfa. Na oni Ghana ha. No onye vice president. Ote asem okai. Ote so kan bibi. Em o ko further to constitute another committee. Ismail Yamson committee. Ana meboa.
Yeah.
Besin no Ismayansi committee, almost the confusion grand by. Besin the president cause and then I see the FAI through processing a diamond for 8 years now. And then the FAI ni ameminim. Besin no untumi nkyerɛ president for 8 years ni. Obi amani baby and try. Fast forward 2016. President Mama at the committee, Badu's committee. Omo recommendation and they say, which I agree perfectly with them. Say, I want here, so be president, or say, sit down amount. And you know, you amount 40% of your salary as rent allowance. Now one can say, all the be maintaining fuels, all the be there. It makes sense. Because sana me jitum. Me jitum so be the president for. Yes, sit down for what? When am I channel? Emma, yeah, this our committee because by the constitution, our committee no, they advising a parliament agiatum. Echo parliament don't more discuss it because of more majority or anything. No more chat reporter committee need buy mu say me sit down my president. Near man 40% of your allowance. No more the question say yeah man dime. And this is simple. Who are majority of parliament? Most of who beside parliamentarians, most of them didn't even know say you're firing. And are we going to sit in this country? Now constitution it say yen facade process mu near fanyade. Now because it say your way. Since there was absolute majority in parliament. It imagine say 2020. Now yeah election ni we now whatever happens. Now Akufo-Addo take committee. Now committee ne say yemfa Flagstaff House mana. Now parliament jituma na nyina yeti ho ne esre. Now we are happy. Yes, right? What be that? Say I say anything. So, it almost take his decision, no. And this if one ankasa through your mama who say, sad decision, I said I need decision, able to stand in the test of time. Into ankasa through a letter. Nankasa Parliament, approve their committee na can. Nanka a final, also through letter heading.
Listen, you say a more hakakra.
Also through letter heading. Because Oman Kasa by precedence, you know, committee be aye juma, Emma Parliament agiatum, Oman Kasa review their parliament there. Until when I who said this before the press conference there, I then a man and I say, oh, me we are commenting on it. Because this is Ghana for ya being ada. All of a sudden, Ghana for ye name their akoto. All of a sudden. Nyama mo yeye eyusum nante ne mabawa edi gu president Kufuor ni mase no ye refi all of a sudden you understand eti omo throw a letter at the bread transitional team say be transitional team no mo ni ahoden bia to me determine say we am and I say me farmer anamwa President Akufo-Addo da ben na ye inaugurating as president Saturday, transitional team report no almost the brain Monday. And I'm one. Did that bang and Uncle responded to that request. But why and I exhibited bad faith in this matter. And the people of this country have no right to know some of these things.
But you're a general secretary of a party, national organizer as well. Is it true, sir, indeed, our president, your party leader, there was an agreement between three personalities, he said, maybe a former president, John Dramani Mahama, yes, on Fanko as part of his retirement package.
As for meetings of that nature, dear, Mijidi said be a course before, during, and after. You understand? A meeting are very important meetings in order to bring down suspicions. There are a lot of discussions had gone on behind the scenes. But discussion the Ghanaian taxpayer taxes Any the be implemented the section there. You were home quiet, see and so can be. And I know so you new quiet say can be. That governor called discuss almost can debate here. Send your music on debate here. You understand? Discussion, yes, a lot of things have gone on. Discussions, baby. Emma, a boy, Emma president. Or consider before electoral commission at the results in the back. Because of a lot of discussions that are behind the scenes. But the fact of the matter is that some will take his decision. Assume some will take
that was the decision taken.
Fantastic. But the decision must stand public consensus.
And get to the taxpayer.
Yeah. And you know, since I said we ever to Jano. And where did you live it? Where did you live it? Were you so happy about it? And who would say because who?
No. It's not even about my concern was that the president should have allowed Ghana to give him the EPC demand as the law requires, not him requesting to be at where Ghana is jeopardy. That is my position on the matter.
Fact say it to be bad at dream cry me mama. So
but it should not surprise you, especially probably he also knowing that in Command Kosovo there was the problem.
In some view on a power dream per also come for deliverance.
And your papa
needs a power dream cry. Also called deliverance straight away. Who call so for now call trying and say some about my dream. Some my papa into Bompire mammy. That's answer no and Bama dream of you. Say what's now as vice president? A do Pempen so better than a president. I also move with them.
You describe him as very humble.
What
the party supporters.
What is humble?
Maybe as a vice president for Etna, even when he was a president.
Who named the Okomundi or that's what here now?
Bibi Komu.
You understand? 1 acre land. It's because Omokoya discussion, Omama who's on my discussions, you know. Yes, we did. Yes, you better.
Then come.
Then Tidna a honor no pay. I'm told, say, why you get permanent structures? I can't structures no better, you know. As to the Sika, no.
It's Yambra, naturally.
Say, a buying assassin. Enya Odiano. Ya the Mawa Utwisa Sidan so.
As president, you know, quite a maybe.
Who knew quite so better? A buying Diana the amount. Indeed, imagine, it said they're working, assuming class or home crime. Now, as president, your amount are buying dying. Now, we decided, say, for one reason or the other, be our family doors or visitors
do extension.
Do pursue extension. And no crying, I was a catcher was saying, this is we are cast over fast a dino. Because we used to state resources and they expanded the place. What are the value and he said add it to it in order for your convenience. It is why is that no? And I was to be some catcher and say, young farmer. Yes, sir, the everybody say, Siama obi official bungalow. Obe decided say, through the position are all right to commit the state in incurring expenses on his behalf. You know, Obe sit down, Cassia also. Say. So I think that is an example.
So the former president abused that opportunity.
I think that it's an example that should not happen. I think that the good people of this country were not happy about it. I was not happy about it. So I said it, say, Minister Nanado Danko Akufo-Addo. Nya dia sa asem no, sa request no, Obama. But Obama say Odema, I would disagree with him. Say Anamanka.
Yeah.
I would disagree with him. And rightly so, because I'm a general secretary of a political party. I hear the concerns of the Ghanaian people. Me party no view and say, dear committee no, at the buy say, we are president now, we are. Who accommodation, no, you have 40% of your allowance. Now, for per accommodation, perfect.
Okay.
Who be in year? Dine or what them. You understand? It's perfect.
Yeah.
I think, say, me, my dream. Okay, or me, who be the president? What can't they say? Who ministers in no, who be for 10%.
10%.
You 10% salary mo. na ye mo fan ye
chip compounds.
Na ube wia what to salary mu be say 50%. Na wasa backdate nti na kwase buo na obu ye no. Because sika na o say wote na mo de aye chip com what jini nyina upfront. Na ye run omansa.
But that's where probably he chose an agenda to disgrace the former president and the former first lady. And the former first lady also tweet by saying that you will be put to shame. You'll be put to shame. You'll be put to shame. So on matters of this sort, how you have handled the president.
John Boy did go take a decision. Say, almost on better 10%. No, they is a cheap compound. Now, almost we are on my Jesus scanning in our Jihon. Men, I'm taking that decision. The men are good in master, no one is good in one master. Men are taking decisions, say, a dire any fear, and then once I say, I dear mammy, my travel over 8 years. But see, dying be architect into my acquaintance and me. Don't be any more interest. Because me meaning say, be ya and number you. Your baby, I say. A bedu pempen so be decided say the president in this country. Him be a dime Ghanaian taxpayer. Rent dua. This our kobo besia. E bi ye tu omu fie na me be the president we are. Maka say o man no and sit time man. I say understand. I think say you see transitional difficulties over the years. Over here Africa no doing pepper so be another military dictatorship no and no ending. Now air complaints are military for a year is about welfare after some handover. It's very difficult for them to hand over. And these are some of the another concepts. So in order to get them to
back to
and the package say, oh, your amount a dime befitting your status as president. Your amount this is here. And one dangerous aspect a woman say, who's the president, mama, one chance of a sound contest.
For just a term.
For just a term. It is assume in 2020 or contest no win here. No contra Flagstaff House. Na or qua or at the committee they say for Flagstaff House there the amano.
To the New Patriotic Party under the leadership of Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo as president of Ghana. Diane come one trama MMDCs here and now copim some modem call for baba and no they are crata by crata crano MDC for any pedmasha series say nipa and didn't share crata in her capacity as what ano no mumage na nemu and they are terminating all appointment of MMDCs.
Presidency no. Even ministers or crano homo nina ye juma president. When they meet you, and the budget are kind of, although finance minister now kind on behalf of the president. What did they mean? The finance minister budget or kind and any budget, a president in the budget, president in the actual Obama. As we speak now, on the president of the country, obey to me wo on my hand, I'm actual letter on his behalf. Say, Yama John Bredu. Land Cruiser, so you're perfectly right. Because let now show behind you be our president.
On your trouble,
it is ye minister designates for a particular ministry. Now, onyan convert na yenyan na. Or to me, president and one because of the minister no crowd, full minister no crowd. Onya there in his or her name. And this argument, I mean, say.
Okay, so the president feels it's almost terminating and almost terminating. So who takes charge? Coordinating
this assembly is now your coordinating directors. Your for regional administrative setup no. The coordinating directors no within a very short time can take because very soon we will start the process of looking for people to fill those gaps. But who say your view no and yes president appointment you per se again elective.
Right.
So in the about just 1 year ye pen call for asha kakra na through the process through referendum ye best some running name and we are middle of 2018 no you be throw nyina out for election. You see what it does is that it reduces tension ewo memo ha who position at least ubenya places are also war MDC wo ho also war DC wo ho so now also
full control.
Yeah, bibi a dey ye best san wo ma ne say e bi amra e ma DC for no ye dissect chairperson.
E be yo free. E be
san free. E be ye fio. E bi a dey either the police or some government structure. E be ba security.
But more elective principle amodeba in terms of these DCs and MCs, you know. What factor in the role him for be play because him seems to be part of this change amode eba. How do you sync the two, electing a DC and the role of a chief in developing a particular community?
Major area. A major area, you call Western region, you know, ahemfo 18 Hong Kong. Even when the law says, yeah, for DC, the government appointees are young consultant ahemfo. Now most of them consult. Yeah, ni party boys, ne deomo and all that. And a major problem, ahemfo are people are custodians of the land. Near a year or honina no or so munya say womb. We are fashioning out ways you bet me evolve properly, effectively. And kasa until now we still maintain who's enra nana kasa about chieftaincy no or resist our issue no. So kwan ben ebe faswa you bet me place ahemfo no in a way elective DCs no
they will still feel that power.
It was as part of the law no. Yeah, the BB mo ebe more legal role to play in the district assembly.
Right.
And nothing sa concept and sa idea. They find more seriously. And nothing that over here Adam Butchie. Yeah, did not share for say unrest sa rearrangement and reorganization of the regions and the district assembly.
It raises very critical issues because one, you perceive say party ni much involved in the new roles and responsibilities and the president assigned and the ministries and portfolios are all created under the presidency and all created Ghana for specifically party now more involved with the actively involved in the appointments and the new portfolios and ministries and
yes
more agree to the yes. As of now 36 is it okay? Is it about the big numbers or that minimal number now? You can want some and it
is not about the size. It is about how effective the structure is. The other say, normally you have ministers we have ministers of states in the office of the president. If you are nipa 6, 8 or many deaths for motiso or presidency. Maybe as me bebre meko Afriki koro no meetings only baby take you understand ye mpese be ne sa the pese ye say specific issues are addressing specific concerns of our people no ye per ministers are on be responsible what capacity no na nkoye say office of the president no ne nam ho obi staff abi wo ko to prime minister koye we ma there be. So, I said that who said governance no who did no credit any transparency so it is our ministers monitoring evaluation
reorganization
initiatives
sanitation
you see special initiatives for instance yakase yabeti development authorities the Northern Development Authority, the Middle Belt Development and the Coastal Development Authority.
There should be somebody responsible
responsible to supervise and oversee and control and evaluate the worker or more area. So, what status or no what stature ube to me they are commanded the needed capacity.
Job for the boys. Ask Okwango is saying.
Why?
Creating something for your party favorites to also feel that they also contributed towards more success at the expense of the taxpayer.
Assuming said the all kind of cry and cry. Until then. Or no. Atamis we I can say the national security. There is job for men and a job for women. Then. Or no angasa. Now correct director of communication Devon Anambra. Atamis fee honor. Say the national security. not a job for men and not a job for boys. You understand? Yeah, or no new role crying define grass or call every month. And I'm but when you're defining role, your specific needs of our people, any specific concerns, I possess specific people with stature to address. This is the style of Akufo-Addo. I'm sorry.
Probably I've said this morning.
Me say, I'm sorry. And your style of Kuku Anyido.
Okay.
Eka onu kwa
That's
kebi
true.
akakabinsam ne nsama emfa kwem. You understand? But enya Akufo-Addo style. So, nti specific concerns are, and mind you, in 4 years' time, never back to account to the people. Yet we may catch a Ghana for say, I'm minister for inner city and Zongo development. And to me, your Zongo development fund near account was to me and ye into Monfanche. Ghana for Peninsula.
Yeah, wrap up on these appointments. Probably of interest. Of interest.
One thing me say o ma otia say nenra nanado ye ne clear say. Enya full blown ministry ebenya chief director ebenya we office of the president what responsibility clear responsibility or what say deliver a mandate.
Likewise this one Ibrahim Awal Mohammed business development and also because presidency one
obviously yeah
I see.
And there will even be somebody in charge ebenya president ministerial level. So one district, one factory concept. Ukazi be janisa. Now, ukazi the Ghanaian people, the massive confidence omo repose wo MPP mu, omo jina so to aba. For the first time, yenya absolute majority even see what Ghana had in parliament. Yasa BT between Akufo-Addo and John Mahama over 1 million votes. That.
Okay, but you
understand? That confidence must be managed in a manner, say, you best satisfy.
It's back to my question, probably at the rapper. You don't need to be reminded, you need to be told. Say, Ghana for you extremely expectant of the Nana Akufo-Addo, His Excellency's administration. Are you able to look into our camera and tell Ghana for do or Ghana Nyamanone, say Nanado will deliver on matters that were promised here? Creation of regions and then allowances restoration, one district to a dam, and then issues about 1 million to a constituency and other matters, especially the welfare and job creation of the Ghanaian.
The other boy, they are simple to deliver. You understand? And now, with baby, I will do our politics. And you can see clearly. Yes, or can now compare baby adao. You can see clearly. All put it together. The ministers, Badwam Mpensenpensenmu, or put it together addressing these concerns our raising. And he believes strongly in it, say, with the kind of environment with the kind of support I Ghana for, actually, there are people who meet you on business. Some one district, one factory, as some no. Munche as a senate kekeni de yenye yebesi mamo abo oni sikasem. You understand? And that kind of goodwill, no, is enough. The provided the legal framework, the support in terms of electricity, rules, and all that to make sure, say, to me, I am my one high. Expectation, yes, I was sort of and one expectation, all of a sudden, it will be up on national security, a major concern. All of a sudden, it will be police new, soldier new, me that's the.
What is it?
It
was abused, then.
Well, considering report I hear, and areas and comfort so age and national over here,
but how do you check these things as a party?
We are going to check it. We are going to make sure. And nothing that here stress, the best stress, in Rantiana, almost feel say ABI winning power na. Oh, Jesus, like I was saying, in my father's house, there are many mansions.
But there's no time for the MPP. There's no excuses for the MPP.
This is Jesus, like one kind of bunty. I can't.
Major fee and I be brave. Oh, Tomato was. Oh, major baby.
Major fee and I be brave. Oh, Tibi Strom, Omu Enyabotre.
Okay.
There are a lot of places, who be here say because one thing say you're very careful. Sabi uko jira port. Now name port procedure name I say go for the name of between you either go and become destructive to the system or join in the abuse of the system. John, these are two areas yen pese you be we 4 years and 8 years and 12 years and 20 years. Na imrante ne mabawa ya engage omo through so-called national security no. Na omu ni ejuma.
Okay, John, but that's
omu ni payroll. I mean, use this opportunity to call on our people. Say, Mr. Amo, yes, yeah, who be go for take you, go for property, any so omu take you, go for take you over and go for ejuma, any say omu ya omu ni hokwa. Yes, Ramo.
Condemn, but don't beg. Condemn them that they act was not right.
Police that I say omu take action, but the yes, friend say, yenya abutre. Nanado Monday ya no ye president. Anambwa first day of Anambwa first day of
What is the Monday ya?
Monday ya so
okay.
And
but you team call every wrap up on your area of specialty. Your books no muja mine emu da okakra emu ye.
Hey, economy no. Very soon no. You name obviously you name say niema enye. You name say eka no oma buru bebre egu. But the year when you soon sa. So never change. MDAs, so almost MDAs not on their own cry to me edgy loans. Okay, cancer arrears, sir. The war. Say last minute got road fund. Omujina so at the J loan 1.2 billion Ghana cedi or UBA. Say Omudi Betiaka a car a good on wrong. And yakaka. But me, no, me who, yeah. All this while, almost Bobby say, I cannot mean so. Because Omaya, it was enormous potential. It was enormous potential. Indeed, I cannot go on. Get the total GDP and do Harvard University almost yearly expenditure.
John, correlations to yourself, your party, and Nana Dankwa Kufuado. Your wish, they say, the Makabia and Modu Sebeyo. Then you remember the needed strength and wisdom. You are leaders. We have to impact.
We are serving.
So impact. Okay. Happy birthday, and come former MC for Techiman, Prince Donina, or say the lunch is on you, or train Upoa. Only lunch. And son, I got Techiman. Only problem. Oh, that is a debut too.
Oh, they mean, Sran saying,
okay.
Some of these things are teething problems.
Okay.
What transition? Yes, so I know permanently. Now, Uncle Bass said that you know. Come back. But any other NDC for Mr. Opposition.
Speak against attacks on state institutions. NDC tells President Kufuor.
They have a long haul. The red band in there.
Okay, so we are watching Adom issue live under the ruling New Patriotic Party under the leadership of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, His Excellency. Monday to Friday, Asanteman, we are there. Multimedia platforms, total coverage of ye mame, ye nana, ibibia daira tunsa and their friend. So Monday to Friday, Osekrum, we welcome everybody to our platform, Badwam, Asempa, Hits FM, Joy FM, Adom FM, Inshira FM, Love FM. All our onlines, they activated. And then so, multimedia jumekuno, ye kodanya miasi Mpensenpensenmu a odi abedu ewo ye de oboni central adwuma ye yenem nti mbeka ye ho na ye nkosum nyame ne nanase okwanso kusukrai edam nyina amase de obakenkan trust medical Dominic kisi yeboa de etoso mienu wa shifita eti bozi rampadu su lidi kwa na omoto o for 1,000 tongues enti no ni nyina akeka media baby amete no baby, I distribute refreshment in the account to make sure that we are effective. We are mid pie and Coca-Cola. Soft drinks. It is that I before to answer their